Welcome to another CHRO Conversation, hosted by the Center for Executive Succession at the Donna Morris School of Business. I am your host, Anthony Nyberg, and today we are speaking with Donna Morris. Donna is the Executive Vice President and Chief People Officer for Walmart. As a member of the executive leadership team, she is responsible for the more than 2 million associates located in more than 10,000 stores around the world. Previously, she served as the CHRO and Executive Vice President of Employee Experience at Adobe. She has also served on the board of Marvel Semiconductor and numerous nonprofits, including the Adobe Foundation, Second Harvest Food Bank, and SHRM. So Donna, first, thank you very much for coming. It was great to hear you talking to our students, and we really appreciate having you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
So on the face of it, it would seem like Adobe is a really radically different company than Walmart and industry, et cetera. What are some of the differences or challenges of switching industries like that?
I would step back and actually say that there are not a lot of differences specific to industries because people are our most important asset. So if I look at Walmart, we're a people-led, tech-powered, omni-channel retailer that's focused on helping people save money to live better. When I worked at Adobe, it was an intellectual property company. Our assets were individuals, employees that were working to develop software. And so the similarities, whilst at first glance people would say they seem very different, the similarities are both are people rich, and definitely there's the importance of ensuring that we can really have strong talent management practices at Walmart, just like we did at Adobe. And in fact, what attracted me to come to Walmart was the fact that we had such scale. We have people all the way from their very first opportunity to those that are extremely experienced in their career, and we provide that pathway of opportunity for so many people in all different job types. That was really attractive. And then the next was, it was a company that was going through digital transformation, and I had been at a tech company. So the combination of impacting people's lives and then digital was really compelling.
So on that topic, you're responsible for 2.1 million associates and then their families. So we're talking a lot of people. I know you talked about well-being and how important that was. How do you do that and try to really help that many people? I mean, you're a small country.
Well, I think stepping back, the most important is to make sure that our associates know what can be provided to them. And so clearly, we have continued to invest in frontline hourly wages, as well as wage investments for all of our associates. But well-being is a critical people priority, and we look at well-being on 3 access points. Physical well-being, think of that as your medical plans. Financial well-being, how you actually navigate the monies that you have and the ability to save those monies. And then emotional mental health. In all of those 3 areas over the last number of years, we've continued to lean into investing. And for a number of those areas, you don't need to be under one of our covered plans to have access. Specifically, mental health. We all know that through the pandemic, mental health has continued to be a challenge. So we have ensured that all of our associates here in the United States and their loved ones would be able to access through our employee assistance program, counseling at any point in time, and we've continued to increase the number of counseling sessions as well.
So that's really a remarkable commitment to a lot of people that are associated with Walmart. That's not often the reputation or the image that people would come to. Is there something that you would just want to tell everyone about, like what the role of HR is in Walmart and how important the associates are?
First, I'd start by saying that Walmart has always believed that our people are our most important asset. In fact, Sam Walton himself really wanted to make sure that people knew that we created Walmarts and even put the location of Walmarts to access and for access for our customers and our members. I think increasingly we are focused on making sure that people realize that we are a great place to work. In fact, we've been certified here in the U.S. for both Walmart and Sam's Club as a great place to work. But we're investing in our people, and we invest around 4 key areas: the digital access to tools and technology to do their work and to access information about their employment growth. We view ourselves as a pathway of opportunity for people. We definitely invest in growth and development on the job through our academies and through Live Better You. Wellbeing, as I mentioned, and then also are focused on belonging, really creating a culture of belonging. We like to believe that as we've continued to serve customers and communities, that people realize that we're also an incredible place to work. And if I can share, 75% of our managers start in the front line. And often people don't realize the opportunities that we create in small towns here in our country, but also small towns, cities, and metro centers across the 20 countries that we operate in across the globe.
So that's really impressive to have that. You say 75% of your managers have actually come up
Started
through
in the front
started
line.
at the front line. So how do you ensure that you're really hearing the voice of everyone and helping get that kind of consistent people development throughout an organization as large as yours?
So talent management practices are critical, and clearly we have very robust programs around associate listening because it's important to know what their sentiment is. But we look at ourselves as how do we actually acutely understand what the needs of our associates are and invest in them, once again, on the job, through our Live Better You program, through our academies, and through really effective management. Perhaps the most critical role in our company would be those that serve our customers, and who serves them are their managers. And so we have a managerial academy program which is focused on building the capabilities of all of our managers so that we can really lead, focused on our values, making sure that we have set expectations for the behaviors that they exhibit as leaders in support of all of the associates that work for us.
And another aspect that is, I think that comes as a surprise to many of us, is that you're really a leading company in digital and AI now, right? I mean, you're amazing that way. Can you share some of what you think AI means in terms of transforming the experience for both customers and employees?
And associates, absolutely. You know, AI, we as a company have leaned into AI over the last number of years, whether that's being on the digital experience when you're shopping on Walmart.com, the fact that you can actually converse. It's a chat bot on the other side that can serve up recommendations to you. On the internal side of our business, that includes a people bot that can ask questions as you navigate. But more recent, we actually stood up what we call My Assistant, and that's embedded in a mobile app, digital form online as well, in an app called My Campus, or Me at Campus, I should say. My Assistant is a generative AI tool for our campus office associates. I'll use an example. I want to hire somebody. I can quickly go in and say, provide for me a job description that includes these characteristics. And within a blink of an eye, it's going to form something that'll be a starter for me that's probably 70 to 80% correct. Why is this important? Because we want to take out the redundant tasks that often people find themselves doing, which provide friction in their day. We want our associates to spend more of their time serving our customers, serving our members, or frankly participating with each other to collaborate, to innovate, to make bigger and better impact for our overall business. So we look at generative AI as just one example of different technologies that can actually streamline and improve work. And we're doing that across our business, whether that be supply chain automation, whether that be making sure that all of our frontline associates have handhelds with Me at Campus to navigate their day jobs. You're going to see us continue to push and lean into technology.
It really sounds, the way you describe it, it sounds very positive. It sounds like jobs are going to be better. People are going to be doing things that have more meaning to them in the workplace rather than what we hear as fear all the time, where people are, you hear a lot of people making it sound like we're going to lose there will be no people anymore.
I think the reality is any wave of technology brings disruption. and brings change. And you always have companies and individuals that are early adopters, and the majority join after the fact. Walmart really is an early adopter, and we're an early adopter because we believe that we can improve the customer and the member experience and the associate experience. And for all these waves of technology disruption, what we've actually viewed is that you don't necessarily change the size of your workforce, but the jobs do change. So I'll use some examples. We've continued to introduce supply chain automation. What we find is more of those jobs actually pivot to support that automation, or some of those associates pivot to other jobs. For instance, our fleet has grown. It's doubled in size over the last number of years. Many of those drivers now had originally started in other functions in the organization. So I think the robust requirement is on workforce planning and how we continue to actually determine what are the jobs of the future and how are companies actually developing the skills today for their associates to navigate to where the puck is going into the future.
Do you have suggestions for us on how we can figure out or start to think about what those jobs of the future ought to be?
I think we all have to start by actually trying it ourselves. And so if somebody hasn't tried, for instance, ChatGPT, it's like, try it. Maybe use it as an opportunity to describe a task or an idea or a menu suggestion or a trip suggestion, just to see that it's not going to replace your own intelligence. In fact, it can help to be a partner or a thought partner for you as you navigate your work. I think as for the job types, we're going to learn a lot over the next little while. When we look at My Assistant, once again, a generative AI tool that we have within Walmart for our campus office associates, we're going to be able to start to see the data that indicates which jobs are leveraging more and how does that reshape what the function is. If I can become more effective by virtue of using a digital tool, then how might I spend my time on higher value work? And I think over time, you're going to see different jobs shape as a result of technology. We're going to have individuals that are going to have to lean into the data that we're learning from, for instance, some of these new tools, and those will actually create new opportunities for people too.
So you described it as we're going to have to learn kind of while we're going. There's going to be a certain amount of experimentation and going. Walmart is really known for being phenomenal on the supply chain and getting things done. How do you balance getting those kind of systems perfect, as they often are, or at least moving in that direction, with this kind of experimentation where you say, okay, let's try something new?
You know, the exciting thing for us is we are absolutely known for our supply chain, and that's because we want to make sure that we have customer assurance. When I go to a store, I want to buy something online, we want to make sure that we actually have that merchandise. But it's in our supply chain as one of the wonderful examples of continued innovation and experimentation. You can show up to a number 30 of our locations, our actual facilities, supply chain facilities today, and see different forms of automation at play actually contributing to our business so that we can learn and take the best of everything. I think what people don't necessarily understand about Walmart is that has been our history. I think change has been something that we've always embraced, and that has unlocked the opportunities that we have today and we have in the future. And the biggest aspect of change for all of us right now continues to be technology. And so what I would say is we're embracing it in all of our areas of our business.
Being responsible for millions of people and their families, is there something that you are most concerned about going forward? I mean, is it the AI? Is it how we make that transition? Are there other things that we should be really focusing on and thinking about?
I would say that what would keep me up at night in general is that society is not necessarily a society that is always as kind or as nice. So within the walls of Walmart, we're really focusing on building community, creating a culture of belonging where people can bring their authentic selves. You know, we like to hope that if we have our associates in stores and in clubs And if they're pleasant and they provide great customer experience, perhaps that individual that comes in will leave in a better spot. And I think all of us should lean into humanity. I guess maybe what I would say concerns me most today is that in this trade-off of digital and in a very polarized environment is that we've lost the importance of people. And we truly believe that our people make the difference. And I would hope that every employer realizes the benefit of the actual people that they have that work for them, and that the function of people or human resources is responsible for unlocking the potential of the organization through people. And hopefully that's what we'll always be responsible for, but we'll have to do it in a more adaptive way, and that we have to all embrace change at a faster pace than we have before.
So that sounds like not just a remarkable advertisement for joining the HR field broadly, but a real strong argument for how society can get a lot better through organizations and through the way we treat people.
I believe organizations play a critical role in all of our lives, whether that be coming to school, whether that be going to your part-time job or your full-time job. Many of us spend a lot of time in organizations. And I think the health of organizations impacts people when they're in those organizations and when they're living their lives outside of those organizations. And I think the function that is responsible ultimately for organizational health is the HR function. So I look at it as an eternal optimist in that there's a lot of work to be done in making sure that associates, employees can be successful, and ultimately the businesses can be successful, and we're the function that helps to architect that.
Thank you very much for your time here today, for visiting us and talking to our students. We sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it too.
You just listened to another CHRO conversation. Today, Donna Morris of Walmart shared her views regarding the role of HR as a strategic partner in driving business success. She also shared her thoughts on how HR plays a critical role across a number of different industries. On behalf of all of us who are associated with the Master of Human Resources program and the Center for Executive Succession here at the University of South Carolina, thank you for joining us.